Hello, and welcome to the What's Up London show. I'm your host, Jennifer Slay. I acknowledge that I am currently in London, Ontario, which sits on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabeg, Haudenosaunee, the Napawak, and Shananton peoples. I am very grateful and appreciative to the Indigenous peoples and their ancestors for being able to call this land my home. I also acknowledge the sacrifices made by my ancestors who came before me, allowing me to be here and have the opportunities afforded to me. Our show today is going to feature artists in various forms, as well as a service club doing good, just as service clubs do. It will be a fun show, and you will want to stick around to the very end and get a sneak peek. Well, sneak listen. More to come. Many artists use their talent to channel their pain, inspiration, and love for their craft. Renée Primeau is an abstract intuitive artist. She uses her sensitivity and intuition to channel into her art as an important outlet and form of self-expression. She does this while being kind to the earth. Let's learn how. Welcome to the show, Renée.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So tell us about your art.
Okay. Well, I started painting. I've painted here and there for a very long time, but I started painting more consistently when I started working in social services. I kind of needed a bit of an outlet and a method of self-care. So I started doing that a little bit more, and friends and other people started seeing them and saying they liked them and actually wanted to have them in their homes and buy them, which was okay. So then I started to post them. I thought either people will like them or they won't, and if they do, great. And people started to buy them, so here we are, yeah. And
there
then
you go.
Yeah. And then I found a company. So speaking about being kind to the earth and animals, it's very important to me. So I found a company that actually took some of my high-resolution images of my paintings and put them onto wearables. And they use vegan materials and upcycled materials too. So that was pretty great. So I'm working with them now. I've got some things here like pillows. I have scarves and dresses and various things too.
So not only is the art beautiful, but it's good for the earth.
Oh, thank you.
So it helps make the earth beautiful too.
Thank you. And it helps sustain, right? Because we do a lot of what we buy and a lot of what we wear and do, we're not realizing that we are putting stress on the planet, right? And it's already going through quite a bit. So the more we can do our part to help sustain it, the better. So I just really wanted to do that. And it was exciting to find a place to help with that. So
That's awesome. And so when did you start really doing the painting? Because I think you said during COVID?
Before COVID, I had started, so when I was doing that for quite a while, and then during COVID, I guess it would have been about 5 months before the first lockdown, another local business and I had shared a space. So it was a nice art studio. I was very excited, and we had a grand opening and all the things, and then COVID. So I think it was about 3 months in that the person who owned the building wanted to take a new direction as well, and just take the opportunity himself to kind of transform the place that we were in. So we had to kind of go. And then during that time, I painted so much. I really needed it. I'm really grateful that I had it, and I painted all throughout all the lockdowns. And then I had found this place to help put some of my stuff on. So yeah, it started before COVID, but during COVID was definitely where a lot of work took place. So.
Yeah. So I know you a little bit, and I know mental health is important to you. You're a mental health advocate. And so if someone is listening and they're needing an outlet, can you just share about the importance of finding that outlet?
I think it's very, very important. And I know definitely I'm so grateful to have found it. I know that it's helped me a lot. And I feel some people can get stuck in having to be good at something, right? So but I was not good, and it's arguable if I even am now. Like, art's so subjective, right? So I think just try stuff. Just try, see what happens, and then just keep going with it. So.
Yes. And before we leave, you have an event that's coming up.
Yes, I do. So there's Market for the Fur Babes is what I called it, and it's raising money for SCAR, Animal Rescue. So we have about 35 vendors that signed up, which is so good, and there's so many different ones. There's people selling things for dogs, like treats and dog collars and leashes. There's artists, there's people selling clothing that they've made. So it's supporting all local businesses in London and surrounding area. And then through a raffle, we're raising money for SCAR. So all the tickets that are purchased will go to SCAR. So.
Nice. And where and when?
It's at Covent Garden Market in the outdoor space. So in the, they call it Market Square. Okay. So it's at the corner of Talbot and King. And it's all outdoors, but there's waterproof canopies, so it's rain or shine. And that's April 15th from 3 to 9.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And if people want to order your art, how do they do that?
So I just started a website that they can buy it a little bit more easily. So it's www.reneeprimeauart.com. So they can find it there. And then on my Instagram handle too is at Renee P Art, or sorry, ReneeP.art. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to be across the screen as you're talking anyways.
Nice.
So people will see it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you for having me. That was
No
great.
problem.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Carmina Young is an amazing fashion designer and has recently relaunched her clothing brand, simply calling it Carmina, a line of modern essential capsules that are locally made in-house with sustainable practices, from the fabrics to the thoughtful design of season-less pieces that have longevity in both style and quality. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jen. It's nice to see you. Thank you for inviting me to be here.
Thank you for being here. So tell us more about Carmina.
And yes, absolutely. So Carmina started in 2014 when I was working from my own home. And I was starting to do products for people that wanted custom design. And then from there, we developed the collection into a ready-to-wear by 2015, 2016. In 2018, we incorporated. I have some business partners in the business, and once they join the company, then we incorporated the business, and we start to look for opportunities to go into the wholesale market. So we visited a lot of stores in London and in southwestern Ontario. We went to different trade shows. We went to the trade shows also in the US. But prior to the pandemic, we have to cancel making fashion.
Wow. So
Yes.
now you're making clothes for a number of different places here in London. Is that correct?
Yes. So in our house here in London, we design and we develop our own fashion products, which means our own clothing lines. We also design and manufacture products for other brands.
Wow.
Some brands are coming to us from Toronto, others from the USA, from other parts of Canada. So yeah, it's happening here in London.
That's amazing. And if people want to see some of these clothing, then you have an event that's coming up.
Yes, the
Yes.
event is on March 23rd. It's an evening event from 7 to 9 p.m. It's the relaunch of our Carmina line after the pandemic.
And using sustainable products is important to you. So can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit more about that?
We are at a tipping point where we have to become sustainable. Sustainable is a way of living. It's not just saying, I want to be sustainable. So we really, really have to act and make sure when we have business models that are supporting that. So at our location, we save all of our scraps. We produce other products. We have donated the scraps to other smaller businesses as well so that they can make products and sell them. And we are trying to find other ways to repurpose those scraps. It's going to take time, but it's a work in progress. The vision of the company is to become a zero waste company, where every single piece of fabric we're using, we are actually diverting from the landfills.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
And that's so important because our earth can't take much more.
Yes, absolutely. It affects people's life. I come from Mexico. I know what it is not to have water. So I know what effects families have. We are in a place where we are very lucky to have a lot of water resources. So we don't worry about brushing our teeth because there is no water. We don't worry about where the water is coming from to do your laundry, for instance. I come from that background.
Right.
I know what it is to not have water.
Right.
And I also know that my family in Mexico, they still struggle with that. For that reason, I think it's very, very important that we all do our part to be more sustainable and more thoughtful about what we do.
And if somebody wants to purchase your fashions, where would they go to do that?
Yes, so they can just go to our online store, carmina.ca, and they can just place a purchase there. We also have an event coming up. We are going to be organizing different events to present our product to the community.
Okay, and where is the event?
The event is at Michael's Gibson Gallery.
Okay.
March the 23rd.
Okay, 7 to 9.
7 to 9.
7 to 9, okay. And the tickets can be purchased where?
Tickets are going to be purchased online, and we are still working through the details of the event, but we're going to be donating all wherever is coming from the ticket sales to our sister's place too. So we're excited about that, supporting our local communities. We're here in London, we provide jobs in London, we make products in London, and the next step is for us is to support our community as well through donation.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here. Look, I'm looking forward to the event, and I wish you the best of luck with it.
Thank you, Jen.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. There is strength in numbers, and when we collaborate, magic happens. Paul Garrett from Kiwanis and Aaron Martin, the Grove's Agri-Food Supervisor for Development and Operations, have come together, and they're going to tell us all about the collaboration. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming back.
We're always glad to come back. Thanks for having me back, Jennifer. I
No
appreciate it.
problem.
Yeah. We have great news today, and Aaron's with us, and he's going to tell us about some wonderful things happening in our community.
Yes. Okay, so I want to hear about both. I want to hear about Kiwanis, and I want to hear about the Grove. So who would like to go first?
Well, we'll go about Kiwanis. Kiwanis, as you know, is a group that works in the community to help children and children in the community around the world. We are bringing people together. We are asking people to reach out to their community and help. Reach out and just give someone a hand up. Tip a hat to a neighbor, do something, but get involved. And you know that that's what we want to do. But if you want to learn a little bit more about Kiwanis, go to Facebook. We're at Kiwanis of Forest City, London. And that gives all the current events happening and things coming up with Kiwanis. We have our weekly meetings, of course, at 255 Horton Street at the Goodwill Building. And coming this fall, we're looking at having a speaker series coming in of topical speakers from right across our nation. So that should be fun as well. So, and of course, we have in April, we have the Kiwanis Music Festival coming in. So we'll be talking about that a little more as we get closer to that event.
Lots of great things
Lots
happening.
of great things.
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome. And the Grove, tell us about the Grove.
So the Grove is a newer initiative. We're on our third year now. So we're an agri-food incubator and accelerator. So basically we're helping agri-food businesses scale up from small scale to large scale. So this is the Western Fair District, which is an agriculture society. We're a nonprofit and we want to strengthen agriculture. And a way to do that is to strengthen food processors. So we have two aspects. We have the incubator side, which I like to see as like the Airbnb of commercial kitchens, but that's an area where we can take that one person that might have that great product, but they don't know what that next step is to commercialize it. You know, their friends are, oh, I'd want to buy this from you, but they don't know where to go from there. So we kind of work with 3 of our different partners. We work with the London Economic Development Corporation, the London Small Business Centre, and then the London Training Centre as well, to kind of build them up, legitimize them, and go to that next step. The accelerator portion are for companies that already have that track record, and we build them up. And from there, we have them for 5 to 8 years, and they're going out to build an even larger facility. So those are for companies that might have 1 to 2 years of track record and build a space dedicated for them. So we're really excited. It's been uptake quite a bit, and it's a great way to strengthen and build that community. We also work with community members in that, and then also building ag education with that. I was an intern at the Western Fair District back in 2016, and that's actually when I was kind of first introduced into this organization. Yep. They awarded me the Future of Agriculture there, and this year we're actually bringing back our ag intern position because it's something that I got a huge amount of value from, and I want to be able to give that to other people and bring them into the community and kind of build those networks as well from that.
Nice. So it's come full circle, basically. You were an award winner.
Yes.
Of a Kiwanis scholarship.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you did the internship. And they helped with that, and then now you are running the place.
Exactly.
Yes, it's came right back around.
Came right back around, which is exactly what we were looking for with everyone.
Yeah.
No one left behind. Didn't you go to New Zealand?
I did. I lived down in New Zealand and in Australia.
Wow. See?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Indeed. What an adventure. What an
is
adventure.
awesome.
And he's back making us proud here. And anybody ever has a chance to get over to the Agri Centre or the Western Fair, there's so much more there than a racetrack. It has greenhouses, it's self-sufficient, it shows where they have growing chefs, young people learning to do something very positive and help in the kitchen with mom a little bit more than they actually help normally. And so it's such an exciting place to see, and I've had the privilege of touring it a few times, and I'm honored to be involved with this and be involved with the community with all these projects and these wonderful people. I'm learning a lot, which is great.
So if people are interested in learning more about the Agri Center, Agriplex,
So it's the Groves and Agri-Food Incubator and Accelerator.
Thank you. I apologize.
Yes, no worries. It's a mouthful.
Better for him to tell it.
So if people want to know more, or can schools bring their classes in to tour and so that children can be exposed and learn?
Yes, so if you want to find more about our organization, you can either go to the Western Fair District website, or you can go to thegrovewfd.com, and that has information on our educational resource. It also has information on our incubator, or if you want to find out more about the accelerator or reaching out, anything on that aspect can be found there. And then for school tours, we are developing certain things. We're getting our processes up and going, but we have our wormery on site. I don't know if you've heard about that at all. So last calendar year, we diverted 60 metric tons of green waste from our own on-site businesses. From going to the landfill, basically we break it down, we feed it to worms in our basement. We have 1.2 million worms in our basement.
Lovely.
Then we take that, essentially worm castings, which is a fancy word for a worm poo. We bag that up and we ship that out.
It's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
I'll skip that part of the tour.
It's very interesting, and you'd be surprised who's really into digging in with the worms and who isn't. So the people that you would never imagine want to get down and dirty with the worms, they're right in there picking them out.
It's another world right here in London, you know, worms and all.
Well, thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it,
Jennifer.
and looking forward to all of the wonderful collaborations and of more that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the time, Jennifer.
No problem. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So every single week, I get the pleasure of singing with the London Gospel Collective. We are a diverse choir that have been singing together for only 1 year, but the collective has hit the London scene in a mighty big way. One of the executive team members is here to talk to us about an upcoming event. Hello, Moses.
Hi, Jen. Good to see you.
You too.
Yeah.
So tell us about the London Gospel Collective for those who have not heard of us yet.
Yeah, well, first of all, for those who haven't heard about us yet, don't worry, because quite soon you'll be hearing about us. Well, the London Gospel Collective, or LGC as we call ourselves, is a choir, a gospel choir that started with a simple view to essentially create a context in which singers would, people who can sing, who love to sing, would come in and obviously sing. That's what a choir does. But beyond that, we wanted to create a context in which people would have the experience of spiritual flourishing, but also to feel socially sort of, safe, to be expressive, to nurture, whatever it is that's important for you to grow and to form as an individual, right? So the London Gospel Collective is a lot about that, right? To be specific, in fact, it started off during a time when, for black people in London, we were having a specific conversation about finding a space for us, right, in which we would experience all this kind of spiritual flourishing and social belonging and that sort of thing. But we're more than just a black choir.
Yeah.
Although that sort of the blackness about our identity is important. So that's reflected in the songs that we sing. It's reflected in the movements, right? If you see the choir moving, you'll see some of that expression. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. And so it's coming up to a year.
Yes.
Yeah. So what have they done and what are they doing?
Oh my days! So it's been a busy year, right? First of all, there have been several practices. When you come to an event, whether it's a worship night or whatever event, you'll see, a beautifully clad, sort of angelic voices, kind of people singing. But one thing that people will not see is the several nights of practice. So first of all, lots of practice, as you could imagine. You have to practice, right, to sing to gel well together as a choir. But there have been several events that have happened across the city, right? So we've had, most previously at during Black History Month in February, we were privileged to sort of be a part of the opening ceremonies for the Black History Coordinating Committee. There was an event that happened, and then at the closing ceremonies as well. So we were there as well. But we've also had different events across the city, right, including worship nights. Two, I think, worship nights. We've sung at the Aeolian Hall, and we've sung across, different places and such. And my sense from just observing both the choir, but also the audience members who come to these events, is that there's a delight, there's something happening, there's a buzz that's building around the city, and I'm privileged to be a part of that.
Yes. Yeah. And you're a part of it in a mighty way because you document everything.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So there's an event coming up. Tell us about the event.
Yes, well, we're excited to, I think this will be the third worship night, right? We've had different events, but this one is a worship night, right? So it's on March 25th at, Talbot Street Church. So you could easily, find out information if you go on Instagram or just Google London Gospel Collective. You'll find more information. But so it's on March 25th. It's a worship night. And what's unique about this particular event is we're going to have a special guest who will add a unique sort of element to it, spice things a little. So I'm excited.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is. I'm part of the collective.
I hope you'll be there to find out.
That's awesome.
Yes.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so you brought a clip so that people can hear.
Yes.
And listen, and people need to be on the lookout because there's more coming.
Right.
The fall is going to have some pretty amazing things. Awesome.
There's a buzz around.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Moses.
Thanks, dear.
Well, that's a wrap. I want to thank all of our guests for being here today, and I'm asking you to please go and visit their social media pages and or attend their events and or consider supporting their businesses to show your support. At the very least, please like, comment, and share this episode with your networks to get the word out. I look forward to being here again with you next week, and until then, be well, stay safe, and take care, and stick around and listen to the London Gospel Collective.